Light exists as an expansion. If light ceases to expand, it ceases to be light, it ceases to be illuminated. It requires a medium in which to exist, to experience itself. And so this is what is consciousness, was the question. I'm having a go. So if you've got, listen to Paul's stuff, listen to what Paul is saying here. The atom's motion is up and out, and so it's breathing. So take a cell of a sphere of any dimension, and name it as the time particle at the center, force, and then a viscous membrane around that time particle force, the twisting force. The motion of the twist at the center, right, is going tick, tick, tick. So there's an anti-clockwise double twist, 4-2 twist on the twin cones, and but it's centered at the tips where they cross over, and so it breaks. The break of the wave is the motion in time for the duration of the wave to exist. And so you've got this the two cones are twisted against each other, just hold them, and that motion of being held, one of them is twisting a bit more. And so tick, there is a break at the center of the cones, and that's the -1 clockwise part of a clockwise rotation. So there's a moment duration. In that moment duration, there is a contraction, so that when it's most of the motion is expansion. So the duration of Planck's constant, I'm still saying the duration of Planck's constant is the duration of a moment. Okay? A bending moment is a moment in time. So that's 6 times 10 to the -34 is our scale. So the -1 tick is that duration. In that duration, there is a clamping action, and that clamping action is taking place while the tick is taking place. And so there's no motion in time at all. And so the clamping action is actually in time, not in space. And so this is double slit experiment when the monitor is on. So part 1, you're proving that you're moving in a medium and that particles are cavitation, either electrons or photons. You're looking at cavitation within a medium, and you're proving the medium exists. When you put the monitor on, you're seeing this clamping action, because the existence of the monitor is our existence, is the existence of the particle when it actually exists in this clamping motion. So you're proving that the motion in time is quantized into these tiny durations of clamping. And that is the motion of awareness of the light itself. So the motion of the wave is recursive at that point. So you prove in the double slit, look, you make a motion, you do something with in a medium, you're going to make it into waves. But the thing that you do is measure it, and therefore you're in the same duration as your existence when you take the measurement, and therefore you see the clamping action, you see a particle. And so now you can see that what you've got is a reflection. So the motion of the wave, which was expansive to create the ripples, now creates a spherical force field at the center of cavitation, holding the cavitation, holding the bubble as an existence of oxygen inside water at the tiny dimension of the cosmic foam. And that's what creates consciousness, because we are the light that's in our myocardial fold. So the vagus nerve of our heart is actually the brain. It's detecting the signal that comes through our soul at the twist of the myocardial fold. The heart, when it forms from an embryo, goes through this amazing twist, first thing, and it creates the myocardial fold in the heart. And that means that as blood passes from one chamber to the other, it goes through a twist motion. And that's the final transform in our hearts. And that's the motion of experience, because that's what gives us duration. Because we get a temperature increase from this motion of transform. We do work as the blood viscosity goes through the myocardial fold. And this is where 666 comes in, and 616. So 666 is it's a Reynolds number of blood. And it means that if it's 666, you get a perfect beast, an animal is created. So that it's perfectly created. If you get 616, slightly thicker, you get defects as the as the transform comes through, so that your awareness, your consciousness is actually distorted by the thickness of your blood. But the reason they keep the blood thick is so you can get hard-ons. It's easier for immature juvenile males to get hard-ons with a thicker blood, and so forcing forcing people to have corrupt sexual activity, forces the blood to be viscous, and that means that those people who have different blood types, the negative blood types, are empowered through the corruption of the positive blood types. And that's what they proved in 1915, and that's where they're hiding it. So the consciousness is the moment of experience of the glazing of light. An actual glaze is created, and you get layers of obsidian and glazing, with the Casimir effect in between those two boundaries. There's 3 layers of the boundaries of existence itself, and it's a glazing, and so it's a reflection. And so matter has a glass surface on it in each moment duration h, which shatters, adding to the mass as the glass shatters. It breaks into a dust so fine, but it cannot break any finer, because if it broke any finer, it couldn't exist. There's no space for it. And that is the ether. And that's what clamps. So you've got glass dust at the tiniest, eeniest, weeniest dimension. Aggregate particles of random chips that the moment of clamping, it flashes bright white. The atmosphere does. Half of it. Because it's balanced off the rotation. It's beautiful. Beautiful. You're home, people. You're home. Ready? Follow the Rebel King.